Relying on AdSense revenue alone as a creator is risky business. If your entire creator income depends on YouTube deciding that your videos are monetizable or not, or assuming advertisers will continue to spend in your niche and your RPM staying healthy, or worse yet, your channel not getting hit by some sudden policy update, then you do not really own your income, do you? We've seen rampant channel demonetizations, we've seen frequent policy updates, we've even seen different versions of the apocalypse. Some categories that used to be completely fine suddenly became restricted or just harder to monetize overnight. So staying afloat as a content creator is not as easy as people think. So in this video, I want to break down why AdSense alone is dangerous and the ways that you can diversify your income to become less dependent on the YouTube partnership program. I'm a YouTube talent manager, producer, and entrepreneur with 20 years of business experience. Over the years, I've managed 25 major YouTubers and worked with hundreds of brands, which gave me a deep understanding of how the creator business really works. And on this channel, I'm here to share all of that with you. So let's dive into it. Ad revenue is useful. I don't want this video to sound like AdSense is worthless, because it's not. It is still one of the best things about YouTube. You can upload videos, build a library, and earn money from content even when you are not actively selling anything, and that is really powerful. But ad revenue is not a business model by itself. It cannot be. It is the lowest control, most platform-dependent layer of the creator's income. If you want to build a real creator business, you need to create multiple forms of revenue. And even YouTube itself acknowledges that, always introducing new tools for creators to survive outside of the AdSense income ecosystem alone. The fairly recently introduced YouTube Creator Partnership feature within the Google Ads is a testament to that ideology. Let's start with the basic reality of AdSense. The average RPM can sit somewhere between 50 cents and $2 per 1,000 views for many creators. It can go up to $4, $5, $10 even. But the reality is even worse. Views do not equal income stability. You can have a good month in views and a bad month in money. You can have a video perform well and still not earn what you have expected. For instance, in the marketing world, there's a concept of the January crash. Every year after the holiday season, CPMs drop because ad budgets reset. Q4 is usually strong because brands are spending, but then comes January and the budgets reset. Campaigns slow down, advertisers spend less, and CPMs can drop 15 to 20%, sometimes even more depending on the niche. For AdSense-only creators, Q1 can feel like a bloodbath. And I'm not even going to get into how bad YouTube Shorts are in terms of monetization. We're talking about something like 3 to 20 cents per 1,000 views. Don't get me wrong, Shorts can be an amazing growth tool, but ultimately Shorts are not the revenue-generating engine by themselves. And this is why I always say, you can have 100,000 views a month and still not pay rent. I've seen creators with 1 million monthly views earning less than a junior developer. They built everything on AdSense, and AdSense by itself is not enough. Now, let's move from the numbers to the ownership problem. Because the issue with AdSense is not just that the numbers can be low, but that you don't fully own the income. You can get demonetized without warning. Sometimes it happens because of a real violation. Whoops, happens. Sometimes it happens because YouTube's automated systems think there's a violation when there is not any. Or sometimes the category that you're in all of a sudden becomes unpreferred, to just put it lightly. But sometimes it is a policy update that changes the interpretation of a content that you have done years ago, and all of a sudden, without even realizing, you find yourself in policy violation. If you can spend years building a channel, get a breakout moment, and then suddenly have the income switch flipped off, then you have to ask yourselves, how much of this business do I actually control? And here's the part that hurts even more. Even when you get remonetized through a successful appeal, the revenue your channel generated during the time you were demonetized is not paid back to you. It is gone. Even if you're right, even if the system made a mistake, that money is gone. If you have experienced otherwise, just write in the comments. I would love to hear about that. So this is not just a temporary inconvenience. This can be real financial hit. A great example of the way policy change hit thousands of legitimate channels is the Made for Kids tag that was introduced back in January 2020. Before that, kids channels were making unbelievable amounts of money. Millions. And the reason was very simple. The viewer base, from the platform's perspective, often looked like adults in their 30s and 40s because the kids were watching from their parents' phones and tablets, and they were using their parents' accounts. And children love repetition. They watch the same thing again and again and again. So you could be the biggest YouTuber in your country, making high effort content, making massive views, and still be outperformed monetarily by a kid's channel with simple repetitive videos because the numbers were just absurd. Then the rules changed. I think it changed for the better. But the business model changed overnight for a lot of these channels. This is what I mean by not owning your income. And now in 2026, the faceless channels are in danger because of a policy update that was meant to combat AI slop and repetitive content. And there are a lot of channels with real actual effort put into it, animations made in Blender and stuff like that, which just get demonetized by the system, and the appeals process is really frustrating for a lot of people. You are renting your income from a landlord who can change the lease overnight, and that is a real problem. The point is to layer your income like a business. At the foundation level, you have typical AdSense revenue. The pro is that it is passive. You upload the video, and if it performs well, you earn the revenue. Old videos can continue making money. Your library becomes an asset, and that is good. The con is that it is volatile and you are dependent on the platform. Ultimately, I think that you want AdSense to be around 10 to 20% of your total income. Of course, everyone starts at 100% because in the beginning, AdSense is often the only money-making engine that you have. Then as brand deals come in, maybe it moves down to 40 to 50%. But the ultimate goal should be to lower it as much as 10 to 20%. Not because AdSense is bad, because if AdSense is your only 10 to 20% of your income, then losing it hurts, but it does not destroy the business. Then you have the engine layer. This is where brand deals come in. Sponsorships can pay 5 times to 20 times what ads pay per view. You might have AdSense at $5 per 1,000 views in a good case, while sponsorship can be priced at $50 to $100 per 1,000 views for the same audience. And this is what I call the niche multiplier. The niche multiplier is basically the difference between what YouTube's automated ad system pays you and what the market is willing to pay when your audience has a specific commercial value. But the multiplier changes by category. General entertainment, vlogs, or comedy usually command lower purchasing intent. That does not mean that they are bad categories though. I mean, they can get massive views, but the purchasing intent is often lower, so your multiplier might be around 2 to 3. Gaming is a huge category, for instance, but ad rates are notoriously low. Then you have things like beauty, fitness, cooking, and lifestyle. These are high authority niches where audiences are often primed to buy. Therefore, the multiplier can go up anywhere from 5 to 10 even. For most creators, brand deals are the real engine. They bring in larger amounts of money. They create industry recognition. They force you to understand your audience as a commercial asset. And they help you move from being just a person who uploads videos to being someone who can actually sell media value. But beware, if brand deals become your only serious revenue source, you have just replaced platform dependency with client dependency. A good target here is around 30 to 50% of your total income. The pro is that this is high value income. It also gives prestige. And I don't think that we should ignore the psychological side. When you get brand deals, you actually feel like you're accomplished something. You feel like your work is being recognized by the industry, and you feel like you are actually part of the market, not just uploading into the void. But the con is that the sponsorship income is inconsistent. It depends on budgets, it depends on timing, it depends on your sales pipeline and your negotiation skill, and you usually have to be actively involved in the process. You have to price it, you have to sell it, negotiate it, deliver it, you have to manage the relationships. So it is high value income, but it is nowhere near being passive. Speaking of engines, the fuel to my engine is your likes and subscriptions. So if you're finding this valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I release videos just like this every week to help you turn your passion into a career. Drop any question about your niche in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer. Now, let's talk about products and services. And I'm not talking about defaulting to t-shirts and hoodies. There are basically 2 ways to do creator products. The first one is to base the product directly on your personal brand. The second one is to create a different brand that is loosely tied to your personal brand, or maybe not even visibly tied to it at all. You can build something on the side that generates additional revenue directly from your viewer base. But since you're leveraging your audience's trust, you have to make sure the product has actual value, or is genuinely good quality. Audiences will smell a scam from a mile away. And unless you have this weird parasocial relationship where fans adore you so much that they will resort to buying your bathwater, scamming your viewers is not sustainable, let alone ethical. Now, courses are the classic example here. Personally, I don't really like them. I think it is a dying business model in the age of AI, or at least it is becoming much harder to justify because your course have to have very, very high value if you're actually thinking of charging money for it nowadays. If your course is just basic information packaged behind a paywall, I think that is becoming weaker every year. But consulting and one-on-ones, that is where the game is at right now. If you are truly an expert in your field and you have established that with your audience, you can start giving consulting. Because consulting is not just information, it is applying knowledge to a specific person's specific problem. And that is much harder to replace. Now, if you don't know how to price your services, you can charge by the hour in the beginning. I mean, that is the simplest model. But a better way to approach this is to charge by the transformation. Charging by transformation means that you are not just saying my time is worth this much per hour. You are saying I can help you move from this problem to this result. A good target here might be around 10 to 15% of total income, but I also know of creators who make a killing with high-ticket consulting services, sometimes earning at least 20 times their AdSense revenue through consulting alone. And some don't even have any other product, but just go with the consulting route, which makes it like 50 to 60% of their revenue. The second product route is creating a brand that is either loosely affiliated with your personal brand or not tied to it at all, and can stand alone in the market. Again, these products benefit massively from creator distribution, but the ambition is to create something that competes in the market. For example, one of my creators has his own hot sauce brand. And right now, the product is finding more and more shelf space in more and more supermarkets across the nation, which of course jump-started with him promoting the material himself at first. But nowadays, the product itself is also gaining traction among other people who don't really know him. And this second route that I'm talking about does not always require serious capital. You can find great products in the market and put your own label on it. This is called white labeling, and it's done all the time with permission from the producer, of course. But you can also modify the original product a little bit if you want. You can get the product produced in batches and sell it in your online store. The food space does this very often. Sauce brands, olive oil brands, they're just relabeled, but the labeling acts as a stamp of approval, and better so if endorsed by the creator himself, with full disclosure, of course. Then again, this still requires work. You need quality control. You need packaging, customer service, legal and tax structure. I mean, you need to have a real business mindset for this. But the point is this: your YouTube audience can become the first distribution channel for a product that eventually becomes bigger than your channel. In the mid-run, I would look at products as maybe 15 to 25% of your income. Then there's the extras layer. This is where affiliate revenue comes in. This is the top layer. It is never the actual target or the end goal of the whole thing. I would look at affiliate as maybe 5% of total income, maybe pushing into 10% if your niche is very product driven. But I would not over rely on it. The pro is that it is a passive overlay. It compounds with volume. The more content that you have, the more opportunities there are for people to click and buy. It used to be the go-to money-making model for blogs before the age of AI. A lot of Instagram creators also use it very heavily. You create content, you recommend products, people click your link, and if they buy, you get a commission. The con is that it may feel scammy if you don't disclose it well. And the existence of affiliate partnership models can also push advertisers towards paying you less and offering affiliate commissions instead. And as of 2026, YouTube is actively expanding its built-in affiliate shopping features. So affiliate income is a stealth revenue stream. But again, there's a trust issue. You need to disclose it properly so it does not feel scammy. You need to be honest. You need to recommend things that actually make sense. And you should really treat this as a side income and not the end goal of the whole business. Because if your content becomes too affiliate driven, the audience starts to feel it. Suddenly, every recommendation feels like an ad. Every link that you post feels suspicious. And once that happens, you're not just optimizing revenue. You're just basically damaging the trust that makes the revenue possible, just as before. The creators who survive the next 5 years will be the ones who build a business around their content with multiple pillars, owned assets, and income that they control. AdSense AdSense is your floor. Everything else is how you build the ceiling. And I think this matters more now because the creator economy is not just a trend anymore. It is becoming an actual industry. That means that the rules are changing. The amateur phase is ending. People who understand how businesses work and what media value actually is have a serious advantage. And just as I have said in another video of mine, once you understand this, you will stop thinking like someone who just makes content, but you will start thinking like someone who owns a media asset. If all you do is upload and wait for AdSense, you are not building a creator business. You're just hoping the platform pays you enough this month. But if you build revenue layers, you are building a business around the attention that you have earned. Thank you for sticking around until the end, and if you like my content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.